Get these figures and more at the Big Bad Toy Store, link in the description.
Hello friends, Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Jazz. First thing you need to know about Jazz is he is tiny. In robot mode, he is very short. So there is a Legends Class Power of the Primes. Here is a Deluxe Class Titans Returns figure. And then here is Deluxe Class Studio Series Lockdown. As you can see, Jazz is a bit on the small side. But you know what? None of that matters because Jazz is a very cool figure. The figure itself is just oozing with personality and detail, and the paint job of the figure is very good. All of the posability works. The only negative I could think of, other than the height, is the giant backpack. Half the car's back here. He also has a much more complicated transformation than I initially thought. So let's go ahead and get into some up-close look at this guy. So taking an up-close look at the head, it's incredibly well detailed. I am shocked at just how well detailed this thing is. It's the best Jazz face I think we've ever gotten. Small, yes, but really nice. Jazz is incredibly posable, so head is on a swivel with limited visibility down and up. Shoulder is on a series of hinges for the transformation, and then a swivel for out and out or forward and back movement. Double hinge at the elbow. So there is a hinge here that's actually kind of like a vertical swivel, and then a ball joint in just below that. Fist doesn't move side to side, but can move up and down due to the transformation. And he is holding his gun, which is that weird shield cannon thing from the first movie, which honestly I've never really liked. It's kind of dumb, but I appreciate that it's all one piece this time. No torso articulation due to the massive amount of kibble there inside the chest, or inside this area. Ball joint in the hip, swivel in the thigh, 90-degree bend at the foot, ankle articulation, and then some heels sticking off the back. Another positive point is there is a peg here at his butt to be placed on a stand. One point of annoyance are his hands. They do have a tendency to just move freely around. They don't really peg into place. Not that big a deal. The right hand is that weird four-pegged claw that he has, and then the left hand is the only hand that he can hold anything in, really. The weapon, which we saw up close earlier, is okay. I really don't have a problem with it. And the stock does fold down to be used in vehicle mode, which I'll show you in a little bit. You get this weird effect in the vehicle mode where it's just kind of pointing straight up. You get this weird effect where I get what they're going for. They're going for like this shielded cannon thing. It kind of reminds me of or makes me think of what a futuristic needler might look like, but that shield doesn't offer very much protection. Jazz's transformation is a bit complex, so we're going to go ahead and walk through it. Start off with, take the fists, and fold them up into the forearms, like that. Then straighten out the arms, and kind of slide them back on that hinge and peg them into the shoulders, like that. Come to the chest, pull it forward, spin it 180 degrees, and push it back into the chest so that you get the grill of the vehicle mode. Take the head and push it down into the body and leave it there. Next, come to the backpack, pull it out from the body, flip out the trunk of the vehicle mode, and snap it into place. Then grab the entire bottom torso section and unpeg it from the rest of the body. And this is actually very, very dangerous because I feel like I'm going to break the figure every time I do it. So what I do is I try and get my nail in here and unpeg one of these pegs from the sides. And then once you do that, things will come off a lot smoother. Extend it all the way up like this, then fold it all the way forward, and then all the way back again until these two pegs just underneath peg into these two peg holes just behind the chest. So before we do that though, come down to the feet, fold up the heels, grab the shins and pull them all the way forward like this. Then collapse the knees into the legs like that. Once the knees are collapsed, take the entire bottom foot and fold it up like this, and then fold that entire section up into the body and peg it into place like that, and then connect the legs into the back of the vehicle mode like that. Now we come to the most difficult part. To start, take the entire front torso, turn it 180 degrees, just like the original Jazz. Fold the arms back, and then sandwich the upper shoulder into the hood, and then peg all these pieces together. And I'm going to tell you right now, nothing is going to peg in correctly. It just isn't. At least on my figure, because the pegs are a little bit too big for the peg holes. There are little pegs that you're supposed to peg the arms into. They just don't want to hold together. They just do not. No matter what I do, no matter how I force it, no matter what you try, they just don't. Your mileage may vary on your Jazz. The Pontiac Solstice that we end up with looks good if I could get the doors to fully peg in to the upper part back here. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I honestly don't. The Pontiac Solstice, though, is no longer produced. In fact, Pontiac, since the making of that original 2007 movie, Pontiac doesn't exist anymore, which is weird. Now, we're going to go ahead and take the cannon here, and there's this little lip right here that will peg into the spoiler, and then that gives you this weird satellite cannon mode. He can shoot up at things. Here's Jazz next to Legends Class Wind Charger. These figures have almost the exact same length wheelbase. It's not much bigger than a Legends Class figure, which is really weird. I like Jazz. I honestly do. I think it is a great, great figure and a fantastic update to that terrible 2007 figure. If you've been following me or watching my reviews since then, I hated that thing. I absolutely hated that figure. And this is much, much better. A vast improvement. Size-wise, I do wish it was bigger. I do. I just do. But that doesn't detract from the fact that it's still a great toy. Now, that being said, I really hope that Black Mamba, Wei-Jang, or one of those other third-party companies comes along and gives this guy its due. Because they, I think, could make some improvements to the figure on the whole that I think would improve it. You know what? That is literally what the word improvement means. Also, one thing that I'm getting really tired of is Hasbro shipping figures that are badly mistransformed out of the box. So this guy didn't have the heels deployed, and some of the arm transformation was done wrong. And I've had a couple of other figures lately that have been mistransformed out of the box that I assumed, oh, well, that's the way the figure should be. But obviously not. Oh, and the shoulders were mistransformed as well. So having the shoulders out and like this is how you're supposed to do it, as opposed to the way I started the video review off with the shoulder more collapsed in like that. You're supposed to have it out like this. So yeah, there is that. Overall, I think it's a really good figure. As I said, vast improvement from the original. I picked this figure up over at BigBadToyStore.com. I believe he is still available, maybe in the dual pack with Lockdown, or maybe he's available in the quad pack with Bumblebee and Stinger. That actually might be the one you want to go with, because if you weren't able to find Stinger, then Lockdown, Jazz, and Stinger are all definitely worth owning, and Bumblebee, well, I don't like Bumblebee, but there are a lot of you out there that do, so there's that. So my friends, I hope you have enjoyed this video review. Jazz is definitely worth picking up. As always, I'm going to ask you to hit the like and subscribe button, and be sure to hit that bell so you know when I put up a new video review. As always, I'm Baltmatrix. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.